Welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina, Bank of America Stadium, and the Duke's Mayo Classic. This ought to be a fantastic showdown and just the flavor every college football fan can't wait for. Hello and welcome, everyone, to a game that we've been eagerly awaiting. As we'll see the number 17 team in the country, the Kansas State Wildcats, taking on the 8th-ranked team in the land, the LSU Tigers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack, and Jesse Palmer with me. Guys, it's time to get it going. Fielded in the end zone, it's Brown. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. They'll try the run. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. All right, guys, let's talk LSU. And what a challenge this is going to be for both teams, both with unblemished records, both sitting atop the conference, and both eager to square off against each other.
And what I think makes this one more fun is that it's not just the two top teams in the conference. These might be two of the better teams in the entire country. These two teams might make the college football playoff. Lots of football out ahead, but this is a matchup, regardless of whether you're a fan of these teams, the conference, of college football you've been waiting to see.
And it's so nice that whoever wins this, you talk about putting yourself in a great position, you hand them a loss in the conference, move them down the standings, and you have the tiebreaker. A lot on the line today.
Pushed out of bounds at the 39-yard line. A big pickup on that run. When Brian Kelly arrived here in 2022, LSU had suffered a very quick fall from the grace of that national championship season, but he is a proven program builder.
And then this program dipping into the transfer portal, you saw so many pieces there in place a year ago, and they could score some points, but you know, making this a complete team, Palmer. I think Nussmeier and the offense has a chance to really thrive. Can the defense stay with them? Because that will determine how great this season can be.
Especially in the secondary. That's a place where LSU has struggled for a lot of years here recently, and this used to be considered DBU. So Nussmeier, you expect to put up points. If he plays at a high level week in, week out, no question LSU is going to be tough to beat.
And the Tigers can really attack on this 2nd and short. Grabbed in the middle, it's Brown. The Tigers get enough to move the chains.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver. And you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
LSU with the 1st and 10 here. From the gun, the running back looking for room. There he goes. Brought down after keeping those powerful legs moving, getting all he could. He'll be a few inches short. Love seeing these early season top 25 matchups. You can get a really good feel of how good these teams are.
And the intensity is going to be big too, David, because the players, you know, on these teams, they've been thinking about this game for a long time. They knew they'd have a national stage, and they got a chance to prove just how...
Picked off, and the opening drive is stopped with an interception.
And how about that play by the defense here early in this game, opening drive, facing one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football, and they're able to get an interception. That is going to be massive for their confidence in this game.
20 after a pickup of 4.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive, stick your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
Johnson wants to throw it. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down.
Man, it's easy to play defense when you can do this. When you can get to the quarterback quick and make him make a decision quick, it makes it easier for the secondary, for the linebackers, for everybody on the field.
Chance to build a little momentum here by converting this third down from deep in your own territory. From the gun, wants to pass. Quarterback doing what he does best. He can move. That was almost picked off, and what a disaster that would have been to throw a pick on the opening drive. Instead, it's fourth down. K-State sends the punt team onto the field, ready to boot it away. They'll boot it away for the first time tonight. Really good job by the coverage team to make the stop, and that's where they'll put it in play. First snap of this drive comes from their own 41. Looking to throw on first down. That's caught. It's Durham. And he'll step out of bounds after a very productive play. Hey, this running back's got some sweet feet, not only to run, but to get a foot down in bounds.
Got that toe down. The foot was just small enough, Reese, to get that puppy down. But running backs, man, you can do so much with these guys and their speed and their athletic ability and trying to get the ball to them as many ways as you can.
Now the play fake. Starts to scramble to the left. Slings it downfield. Pulls it in. And he was on his way, and they get him down at the 30. Think about when Garrett Nussmeier goes into the quarterback room at LSU, and there are giant murals of Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels, Heisman winners. Jesse, that's some pressure. But, man, if he can cut down on the turnovers, he might join them.
Yeah, there's no question about it, Reese. This guy has a lot of talent. I really also just appreciate the fact that he stayed put at LSU. In an era of college football where especially quarterbacks are transferring 2, 3, 4 times, naming off those guys you just did, it would have been so easy for Nussmeier to try to find another opportunity somewhere else. He believes LSU is the best situation for him to win a national championship and get him off to the NFL.
Snap it to the back. Find some fresh air. He's loose. Powers through. He's up to 47 yards for him on the ground now. What a first quarter for this guy.
I think one of the hardest places to move the football on the field is right outside that fringe area. Now the offense gets to skip that area because it was a great job by this running back making something happen, getting the ball all the way down the field, now set up on first and goal.
Relentless, tough running gets it down to the 4. Offense trying to pay it off on second and goal. The give from the gun. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Bayou Bengals.
And the running back was not going to be denied on that play. He had a hole. He saw it. He put his foot in the ground, and that was pay dirt.
Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Hey, guys, got a final score in a big top 25 matchup today. Texas Tech made it look easy today, but I promise you, there is nothing easy about a double-digit road victory. And a win like this only confirms there is something special brewing with these Red Raiders. A collision between ranked teams always impacts the big picture, fellas. And it appears that's the case again today.
Kevin, thanks a lot for that one. Sounds as if they had a good one there. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Give to the running back. A collision, and he stopped at the 27 after picking up 1.
You definitely want to commit to the run game. You want to establish the run game. You want the defense to honor it. But if it doesn't work a little later down the road, you might think about airing that puppy out.
Johnson looking to throw. Caught over the middle. It's Oakley. Ripping off a pretty good chunk of yardage. They've got it out to the 41 with a first down. So they'll go back to work after changing into the field. Looking downfield on first down. Pulls it in. It's Edwards. And gang tackling on this dude is a good idea. They needed it, but he still got the first down.
That's a great example of him understanding where everybody is on the field, because that wasn't the guy he wanted to throw it to, but he knew he was going to get hit. He had to get rid of it quickly, dumped it off, and he let his guy go make a big play for him.
The Wildcats getting set on 1st and 10. Hands it off. And he'll pick up one. It brings up 2nd and 9. Tempo and overdrive.
And nice job being gap sound by this defense. And here you go. Watch what this offense does. They'll get
He'll off one deep down the left side. And it's incomplete, going for the massive explosive play instead. They're looking at a 3rd down.
Well, this defense was ready for go balls. It's against this receiver and his speed. He's one of the fastest in the country. They knew this quarterback was going to try to take the top off the defense. That time they couldn't link up, but if you're on defense, just know they're going to try that play again.
They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. Johnson wants to throw it. And a missed opportunity on 3rd down as the defense knocks it free, and 4th down is coming up.
This is a point where you just got to be able to focus. I mean, critical down and distances in this game, like that 3rd down right there. When it's a good throw, you got to make the catch. You got to be able to make that play.
Boy, if they don't convert this 4th down, there will be questions to be answered. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Sails one into the middle. Big tight end makes the grab. First down, still on his feet. Stop at the 3, but it'll be enough to give them a 1st and goal.
That's a big-time completion. And guys, I think they caught the defense napping right there. I think everybody on defense thought that they were going to maybe throw to the sticks on that one, but instead, quarterback had some other ideas. He had a matchup he loved one-on-one, vertically down the field. He took advantage of it. His guy made a great catch. Let's keep this drive going.
And the Wildcats trying to pay off the threat on 1st and goal. He'll do it himself. And he'll finish the run at the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats!
Man, you've seen the evolution of the option. You've seen the evolution with scrambling quarterbacks that can run and be so dynamic and just so much to defend. The quarterback says, forget that. You defend everything, I'll take it myself. In for 6.
All tied up and just about set to kick it away. On the move from inside his 5. And good work by the coverage team to get the return man down on the ground. This drive will open from the 15. Looking for a man. It's Nussmeier. Dances away to buy time. He'll pull it down. He works his way up to the 20-yard line and goes out of bounds there.
Nice job by the defense. You got to dial into your keys. You got to make sure you're reading those guys up front. They did a good job. They saw it. They pulled the trigger. They knew the quarterback had it. They weren't fooled. Strung it out. Did a nice job of limiting the damage with that QB run.
Defense there to stop him after a gain of 1 to the 22.
And that run really didn't go anywhere. And a lot of times we don't focus on it enough, but how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
Takes it from the gun on 3rd down. Makes the grab. It's Durham. He'll get a fresh set down, stopped at the 31-yard line.
Nice poise by the quarterback. Here's a big 3rd down throw. And you want to push the ball vertically down the field, but if the defense takes it all away, check the ball down. Get it to your running back and let him go do the work and move the sticks forward.
It's 1st and 10 from the 31. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. Not a lot of daylight. He gets 1 to the 32.
And you want to run the football. I mean, that's okay. You'll take some of these. But if they start to add up down the road, obviously, you might want to think about airing it out.
Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. Back to pass. Quickly complete. Out across the 45 and out of bounds at the 46-yard line. A big pickup here as they try to put together a scoring drive. LSU moving the ball quickly down the field. Hand off from the shotgun. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all. Play.
I'll tell you, this defensive end, not only can he pass rush, but he can play the run as well. You see him beat the offensive lineman there trying to block him, get in the backfield to make that tackle for loss. That was impressive.
Got stuffed on 1st down. It's 2nd and 10. To the air, it's Nussmeier. Rushes on him. He caught it. Going to the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers.
And I just love the execution by this offense. Late in the half, man, you want to take the lead. You want to get that momentum on your side, and they do it. They finish it with the passing game. And tell you what, keep that passing game up. You can keep this lead, keep the momentum, and keep putting up numbers.
And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. Coming out with it, it's Grove. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. Good news, I guess. A lot of room to work with as they start this drive from their own 15. They'll send the back in motion. They're going to throw it to start the drive. Unloads it downfield. And it's incomplete. They were looking for the huge gain on 1st down.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the 1st half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the 2nd half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
So now it's 2nd and long. They'll throw again after the incompletion. Pressure coming. Knocked down at the 26 after ripping off 10 there. Offense rushing to the line of scrimmage. Clock is stopped for the first down. They'll try to get it off quickly. The give to the tailback. And there was nowhere to go. Just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
It's hard to run on a defense that comes off the ball like that and runs to the football like that. Good luck. No holes anywhere.
And the Wildcats with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. Johnson looking to throw. Quickly complete. And he's knocked down immediately, but a good pickup on that play.
This quarterback right now is in a groove, and he's doing a nice job in pre-snap. He's reading the coverage, and he's getting an idea of where he wants to go with the football. That's why the ball's coming out of his hands so quickly, and that's why he seems like he's in a great rhythm right now.
Ball's at the 29. Defense can taste getting off the field. It's 3rd and long. The throw to the outside is complete. He'll get it up to the 39 before he's run out of bounds, and this offense just patiently, methodically trying to do work. Kansas State has it with another 1st and 10. Wants to throw on 1st down. Quarterback strolling away from heat. Got him downfield. And this defense's head is spinning. He gets it down to the 27.
Yeah, and the quarterback knew exactly where he wanted to go with the football, had time, spins the ball deep. Nice job by this offense, understanding what the defense is giving them and creating the explosive play.
This offense always looking for those big, explosive plays, and now they've got it just inside the 30. Oh, out of space. Got it into the red zone, dragged down at the 18-yard line. They'll try to kick it into overdrive. Clock's running, 2nd down coming. Handoff to the single running back. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. The Wildcats come to the line on 3rd and short, looking to keep the drive moving. Johnson wants to throw it. Floating away. Turning on it. Got some room. Headed to the goal line. And he'll race it to the house. Touchdown, Kansas State.
Nice job putting a drive together. Nice job punctuating the end of the first half. There's still some time left, Palmer, but they can tie this thing up right now.
Yeah, and this is a staff that has so much confidence in their offense. I like staying aggressive right here, going for 2, taking the lead into halftime, and putting a ton of pressure on the opponent.
And he made the extra point without problem. Fielded in the end zone. It's Thomas. That gamble did not pay off as they bring him down at the 12-yard line. So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half. Quarterback may change this route. Starts a drive trying to go up top. Bringing the heat.
That might be a little too close for comfort for me. If I'm a play caller, I want to create some space. I want to take a shot and maybe throw the football down the field. But I want my quarterback to know, like, listen, hey, we're really close. We're a bad spot away from 2 points for the other team.
Now facing 2nd and long after the defense came up with that sack. And he was able to get away from 1 tackle, but plenty of help was on the way. Decent pickup on that play. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. Just a few seconds remaining here as they try to put something up before halftime. Give to the running back. Makes his way to the 17, but not enough for the first down. First half in the the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update. The Tigers will kick it away to crank up the second half. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. This one in play, first snap of the drive from the 25. Johnson looking to throw. Finds his man. It's Bradley. Gets away from one. Finds some space. And an explosive play. Has him on the move, and he gets it all the way to the 48-yard line. They went up top to pick up the last first down. Let's see what they have here. They'll run it. Not a whole lot of room there. 3 yards maybe. 2nd and 7.
And I think this has probably been the most surprising thing of this game so far. This guy's one of the best running backs in the entire country. They just can't get him going. He's never been able to get into a rhythm. You got to give the defense so much credit because they have been able to shut this guy down, and they got to keep that up here in the second half.
Red pass, it's complete. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. We thought we might see some of this. They'll go to the Wildcat formation here. Sends it back in motion. On the direct snap, it's Edwards. He goes out of bounds after picking up a few at the 35-yard line. They're dealing with a 2nd and long. DB's right up on the receivers. And the pass is incomplete, jarred loose by the hit.
Well, they were trying to sneak him out of the backfield that time into the passing game, but that did not fool anybody on defense. What a hit, forcing that incompletion.
They couldn't make the connection on 2nd down. Now a 3rd and 7 to keep the drive alive. Johnson wants to throw it. Flushed out of the pocket. Shoots it to the left. He makes the catch. The chains will move, and they'll have 1st and 10 from inside the red zone at the 18.
I love running the angle route, whether it's on 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd round. It's a really good route. It's a safe route. Just takes a little bit of timing over the middle of the field. But, hey, again, getting it to a playmaker in space, always winning.
Wrestled down at the 8-yard line as they threaten deep in the red zone.
And you're seeing his dynamic ability to run the football that time on the option play. I know he doesn't pick up the 1st down, but that's still a good chunk of yardage, and the defense wasn't ready for it. Moving forward, expect the offense to go back to the option play again and see if someone will finally take the quarterback and force him to pitch it.
Looking for space. It's Edwards. Dragged down, but they'll move the sticks for a 1st down.
It's great to have a physical offensive line that you can count on, that you can just lean on them up front and fall forward and get 1st downs. Man, what a comfortable, what a nice spot to be in if you're an offensive coordinator.
Kansas State has it 1st and goal. He's looking to pass. Now improvising. Throw to the end zone, picked off. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception.
Well, he was rolling to his right. Because of that, I don't know if it affected the timing between him and his this wide receiver. They just weren't on the same page on that one as the defense comes away with the INT.
Opening play of this drive comes from the 11. The give to the back. Found just enough running room. He picks up 4 to the 15. Solid pickup of 4 on first down. It's 2nd and 6. He wants to change this route. Gets the back moving. Back to pass. It's Nussmeier. Got his man on the outside. Didn't pick up a lot there. Moved it forward just a few.
And that's kind of a lot of today's running game, right? Spit the ball out quick, get it to your playmakers in space, get positive yards. It's instead of running the ball a couple yards up the middle, now you just spit it out wide, and a lot of times if you break a few tackles, it could be even bigger.
You've got a 3rd and manageable, backed up in your own end, but convert here and you get some momentum. From the gun, wants to pass. Flushed out of the pocket. He might have gotten way too greedy there. Held it too long and couldn't throw it away to avoid the loss.
Well, as a quarterback, you've got to know when the play is over. You got to mitigate your losses. That time, he was just trying to do too much. He thought he was back in high school and everything was taken away. He could just pirouette, make a guy miss, and turn it into a home run. Nothing doing, and he takes a big loss on that one.
K-State has the ball back, and the Power Cat offense returns to the field. And boy, they missed an opportunity last time throwing that pick in the red zone, David.
And you got to put that frustration behind you. You can't turn it over.
He lost it high and deep down the left side. And they dialed up a shot play, but they couldn't hook up.
I don't know about the decision that time by the quarterback. He may have been expecting man coverage, but that time the defense was in zone, and they did a really nice job closing the window. The intended target was not open, and that's why that one fell incomplete.
Get it out on the screen. At the 35, he's loose. Oh, he's getting ahead of steam. Inside the 20-yard line, pushed out at the 18, and they're in business.
And they executed that running back screen to perfection. Quarterback held on to it. He let the rush get to him. Offensive lineman got out in position, and the running back sold it too. Once he had the ball in his hands, he just had blockers and green field out in front of him. They pick up an explosive play on a running back screen.
Defense is about firing off, getting the offensive guys and staying in your gaps, everybody knowing where they're supposed to be. You could tell the defense, everyone was right where they're supposed to be, nowhere to run.
They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. The give on the option. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. Time winding down in the quarter as they come to the line. Johnson looking to throw. Fires to the wideout. Finds a man on the left. Touchdown, Wildcats! They take the lead with the 6.
Quarterback's abilities to read the field is huge, and also the anticipation, the timing. To be able to throw the football, Jesse, and hit a guy in stride so he can get run after the catch and get in the end zone, that was a nice job by the quarterback.
Yeah, it's critical, David. Listen, a lot of times touchdown passes aren't thrown into the end zone. You've got to read the coverage, hit the open guy, and let him do the rest.
The kickoff team is on the field, and we're ready to get this one underway. Looks like he's going to try to return it. And they'll haul down the returner to start us on the next drive. snap it from the 10 for the first play of this drive. Looking to throw on first down. Using his legs to buy some time. Fires downfield. And he can't hold on to the ball at the end of this big game. Defense picks it up. Turning it on. Touchdown, Kansas State. The defense putting points on the board.
What a nice job by the defense. Getting the football out, the awareness to scoop it up. I got space, get up the field, a little caravan to the end zone, making the big play. And this offense in game one, man, not only do you give up the turnover, you give up a touchdown, and you haven't scored that many points. They got to get it together.
Might have to give that coach a flag and a whistle. He was right on in his view of the play, and the officials agree and overturn the call. With a first down, they'll snap it from the 32. The offense changing the play. To the air, it's Nussmeier. Here's a heat. Blasted as he lets it go.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback got confused on first down. He might have thought the defense was going to be in man coverage that time, but they were in zone. They fooled him and just didn't seem like he had his eyes in the right place, was forcing that ball to his intended target. The window way too small. The guy was not open, so that didn't have that chance to be complete.
Out of the gun, the inside handoff, looking for a crease.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
On third and long, he's going to have to throw for it. He's got an open man. And that's where they'll mark him, but a very productive play, and they'll move the chains. LSU moving quickly, going to work again on first down. To the air on first down. Throwing right. Good hands in there by the defense to force the incompletion.
That's one thing about this defense. They've got some dudes in the back end that can cover, and they can hang with some of these intended targets. Nice job swatting that one away.
Gonna run it. It's Dura. Still running at the 40. They are on the move down to the 32, and they pick up another first down.
I love the play call by the offense here running the ball. The score is what it is right now. You don't have to panic. You don't have to throw it every single down. You don't have to go up tempo. Just run your stuff. Be balanced. Run the football. Make sure this defense stays honest.
And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
We've seen this guy have tons of success. He had over 100 yards right before that run, but defense gets the better of him there. Nice job of adjusting up front. Good job being physical by that D-line, too.
To the air on second down. Here's the pressure. Makes the catch. It's Anderson. Inside the 20-yard line. Pushed out at the 18, and they're in business. Big drive for this offense late, trying to tie the game. They pieced together a couple of first downs, and here they come again. They'll throw it from the red zone. Quick strike complete. He'll be brought down at the 3-yard line. An explosive play in the passing game has him on the doorstep.
Well, I know the tight end did some good things after the catch, but got to give the quarterback credit to the location of the throw. Because he put it out in front of his big man, he was able to make the catch and accelerate, creating some distance there between him and the defense.
He'll do it himself on the draw. And he'll be stopped for no gain, still sitting at the 3-yard line.
And, man, it's nice to have a guy that is just better than your guys. And no matter what play you call, man, how about him getting in the backfield quick, penetrating, using his quickness, and using his strength to get him to the ground? That is a baller.
Can the defense stop them again on second and goal? Tries again to get it in. He steps and powers and works his way. They finally get him down at the 2.
And with the stuff there, Jesse, on second down, this little third to mid-range, you got 2 downs. What are you thinking here?
Maybe getting your quarterback out on the perimeter and giving him a run-pass option. See if you can get the defense in a bind.
We've reached the 2-minute timeout, and time is of the essence for this offense to get things done. And this could prove to be the biggest play of the game. They'll go for it on 4th and goal. Looking downfield, it's Nussmeier. Under fire. Into the end zone. Intercepted. Guess even a Heisman Trophy contender can have a miscue. He's knocked down, but what a play to come up with the interception.
Aggressive versus reckless. It's such a fine line when you're trailing and you need to make plays late in the game. The offense was reckless, turned the football over, and this one doesn't look great.
They'll snap it from the 20 for the opening play of this drive. They'll keep it on the ground. They want this clock to move. Good, solid, determined run there. They'll mark him down at the 27.
You want to make play calling easy for an offensive coordinator? Run the ball like that every play. I mean, when you can run that on first down and set up a short yardage on second down, it makes play calling easy. Every single call on that sheet is available here on second down.
Now on second down, and we'll probably see another run, and that might do it if they can get a first down. On the run, it's Edwards. That ought to be enough to give Kansas State the first down. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. And they'll line up from the 31 on first down. Takes the handoff, and he's going right. And a pickup of 8 opens a world of opportunities on 2nd and 2. Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. The Wildcats in a good spot here with 2nd and short. Running back searching for a hole. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. And the Wildcats are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. Defense looks like they're coming. The option look. It's a running room. Wide open spaces. Inside the touchdown, Wildcats. And once he got away from the knee, they had no shot at catching it.
Well, they get the touchdown when they needed it most. That score now makes it a 2-possession game. And guys, with just seconds to go on the game clock, this thing is all but over.
And the extra point is true, and they have a 2-touchdown lead, up 14 in the 4th. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. He'll bring it out. It's Thomas. I know he thinks he can house every return, but sometimes you just have to take a knee as he stopped at the 14. First play of this drive comes from the 14-yard line. Looking to throw, it's Nussmeier. Keeping his eyes downfield, rolling left. And that's not the way they drew it up. It's incomplete.
Well, the quarterback off target on that one. And in this 2-minute situation, you've got to be able to call and run passing plays that you feel like you can run in your sleep.
Nice gain of 6, leaving them with 3rd and 4.
I think that was an example of the offensive coordinator trying to help out his quarterback. He's trying to keep these third downs manageable. You know, you throw the ball on second down and it's incomplete. Now you've set up third and long, and now you're set up.
And he throws another interception, his third one of the night. The defense making a play to put an exclamation point on this one, and that ought to do it.
Well, it's a nice interception. At this point of the game, up 2 possessions in a 2-minute situation, the offense is so predictable. You know they're going to throw the football. So everybody on defense, they're just trying to see the ball thrown and then breaking on it. Nice job coming away with that turnover.
Guys, I think we all expected this game to be close. Couple of teams of this caliber, but boy, what a statement by the underdog in this one.
And there's going to be a big movement in the rankings after that performance. That team that got the win today, they are going to get moved ahead of their opponent. It's one thing to beat a ranked opponent, David. It's one thing to blow the doors off of them. That was impressive.
It's impressive. It's huge for them. Obviously, we know what's going to happen when they're going to move up the charts, but the other side is equally as depressing. I mean, they're going to fall like a rock. This wasn't even a competitive game. This is a bad day, and the rankings will reflect it when they come out.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.